Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening podcast. This is the episode number 7, and it's an episode about our guest today. Like I said, on each Wednesday, I share 1 or 2 stories from our guests or the souls that are going through this experience at the moment that is so intense and it's pretty much drives them crazy. Today I have a very interesting story from a man who shared this in detail, how he met his twin flame, what happened in his life, and what is going on currently. These episodes are useful for those who are questioning whether they have met their twin flame. Are they going crazy in their head and if this connection is real? I believe that sharing stories from others who have gone through twin flame awakening process or are currently awakening or have met their twin flames, because knowing that someone else has something similar and this is not something crazy that you think in your head, that twin flames are real. Believe me, it took me some long time to accept that twin flame connection is a real thing and it's actually happening, because it's so intense, and not intense only because you meet the person. The things that's starting to happen in your life, in your body, in your mind are just unbelievable. As we know, twin flame, meeting your twin flame is triggering your spiritual awakening. And also you might have a Kundalini awakening, you'll have a spiritual awakening, you have all of these things at the same time, which means your mind goes crazy, your body is in pain, and also in life you're starting to have like so many weird things are starting to happen to you that you are really questioning if this is the reality. And so in today's episode, what are the main topics we're going to discuss about it, and then you know if you would like to continue listening to it and if that's something that resonates you. Like I said, we'll go through the guest post, a very interesting one, and it's from a man. As we know, there are often more women who are awakening first than the men, at least based on my statistics and the weak people I work with. But it doesn't mean that it's only women who are going through this. It's also men, and not to mess up divine masculine and divine feminine. Divine masculine and divine feminine are energies. They can be inside of a man or inside of a woman. It does not matter. What matters is that normally the divine masculine is a runner and divine masculine is a energy. Keep that in mind. It's not the man, it's the energy. And divine feminine is the chaser and is not always a woman. It can be also a man. And today we have a proof of that. There is a man who is divine feminine, who is the one who starts to awaken earlier than divine masculine. And he's very in detail about the story. So we'll talk about that. We talk about what happens in your chakras. And here is a big thing that people misunderstood or misunderstand about chakra opening during the twin flame awakening or a spiritual awakening. We are starting to have some weird pains in our bodies, and then we think we are sick. We need to go and see the doctor. I'm not saying you shouldn't see a doctor, but what I'm saying is you're going to have some weird pains in your body. And that's actually a proof that you are going to have a spiritual awakening, that your chakras are opening. And your chakras are not opening that you don't notice them. You notice in your body. Then we'll talk about these weird signs and things that are going to happen to you, or happen to you, or going to happen, or some odd things. And especially I have some really crazy stories to share with you today that happened to me over the weekend. We'll talk, like I said, we'll talk about the signs that are leading you up to this twin flame connection or happening during the twin flame connection and afterwards. So if you think that you're seeing certain things and you don't understand why, you might find answer over here in this podcast episode. So right before we dive into my guest post today, I would like to say a huge thank you for each one of you who have listened to my podcast. I mean, it means the world to me. Knowing I never even actually thought of that there are going to be more than, 10 people who will actually listen my podcast and find it useful. So I just would like to let you know that each of your comment, each of your like, each of your message means absolutely world to me. Because today I have over 200 subscribers on YouTube. And to be honest, I thought if 10 people will listen my story and what I had to say, it's a miracle. And today over 200 people have decided to subscribe on my channel. And I know it doesn't mean a lot maybe for someone, but for me, it means there are 200 souls out there who I have connected with. And for me, it's incredible. And if you think of 200 people to put in a room, wow. So I just would like to let you know that you are absolutely amazing soul, and thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. It's just beyond beautiful. And same for my TikTok followers. Over 5,000 people I have gathered there together. That means 5,000 souls are awakening and going through this process. And whatever I had to say or whatever I have experienced helps them. It's amazing. So you are a beautiful soul out there, and I know it's intense, and I'm going to share some very intense things that happened to me, and hopefully that will bring you some kind of a inner peace that, okay, I get there. Everything is going to be all right. Everything is going to be okay. But I just have to go through this tunnel, through this portal to get there. And so again, if you're new in this channel, if you can, please like and subscribe. Like I said, it means the world to me, honestly, and it motivates me to do even better podcasts and share more information. I also have a little shout out to a Hoosier Honey. I might pronounce it wrong, but the reason I would like to say that, why I'm giving a shout out to her, is that her comment made me really happy when she said, I'm reading the power of now, I'm taking the action, I understand now what I have to do. And here is the thing with my podcast or with my experience that I share with my clients and we go through it. Yeah, I can tell you what to do and I can guide you and I can bring you the clarity, but you have to make this step. You are the one who is going to make this right step. I cannot make you to do it. So if you would like to meet your twin flame, you want to have a union, or you would like to find this inner peace and be the manifestation, I mean, you're going to be the manifestation of this whole process because the soul wants you to do what you're supposed to do, then you have to take an action. So I hope this podcast episode and anything that I'm sharing is helpful. And like I said, every like, every subscribe, every little thing means absolutely world to me. And I really want to give back to some of these people who have taken their time to comment. Like, I'm hoping that maybe if we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will come up with some kind of a gift or something that I can give to someone. So if you have an idea, maybe a book, The Power of Now, maybe the book of Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist, or something else. So let's just keep this conversation going, and I'm really, really, really thankful. So now we dive into my guest who has sent me the story, and I found it very, very intense. So I might read a part of it and we discuss. I might not do that and I read the whole story, depending how I feel. So if you get a little bit confused, I apologize, but I try to do my best and give you this information. So let's dive in. I have quite a mysterious situation on my hands that I can no longer put off. In July, last summer, I had applied a lifeguard gig for a second income Around that time, I had been seeing many crows and ravens. Eventually, I began realizing their differences. After I was trained, I began working and met a beautiful woman, a mystical goddess that upon our very first conversation told me spiritual inner work she had been through the past days before meeting me. We hit it off great and met each other's inner child by our first dates. Begin just fun, things like hugging, climbing trees, painting, going to the trails, and so on. We both knew it was a loving connection, meant to happen within in a short time of dating. Fast forward only 3 months, not even. She had a vision. We'd been doing work to help the collective, which I thought would be more still in each other's lives, but on October 23rd, after 3 days of hardly sleeping and eating, she had broken up with me, and although I handled it maturely and calm, it hurt and left me in confusion, even to this day. Despite how many times I said I'm moving on and asking the angels to rid her from my thoughts, I understand why she couldn't stay. She had a mission at that time. My lower chakras were imbalanced, which she felt, and it took on the pain. Of that I learned the significance too late. But after we split to heal ourselves, it's been strange. She blocked me, which I guess I understand. Probably overwhelming for her, but it's been more than a half a year now. Not a word. Sometimes she'd be a part of my dreams. Early in January, but after a while, nothing. What's even strange, that before we split up, I had left my father's house due to this toxic environment that was there. I didn't have anywhere to go, so an old friend offered me a room, but they were also renting from other tenants, so they were cool with it. And one of them was Joy, a Libra, just like my ex, or I think we can call it just like my twin flame. Joy's great and quite a bit older. Perhaps the mature is a better word here, but similar. As they are on the same energy but from alternate universe. My ex, my twin flame, has a pineapple tattoo. She loves them. And just Joy, she's randomly also pineapple sometimes, whenever she doesn't like something. They both love purple. My ex, my twin flame, even had purple streaks. Me and my ex had fun exploring my connection with the wolf spirit. Me being Pisces, while Joy literally had a wolf pendant around her neck the first time I had saw her, in a good lightning. And they both have a connection with the raven spirit, as the representative is by Libra in our Indigo's Northern American zodiac. Like, it blows my mind. But the kicker is, I mentioned this to my ex before, when she undergone the suffering of inner work. She thought it was interesting and glad that I was around good feminine energy. But she did say to be aware that someone was definitely a magic user in that house. Then literally a couple days later, broke up with me due to all of the energies in my chakras being too much for her. After that, I worked every day, like today even. I tried to be the best version of myself. I'd left the house after 2 weeks after our breakup. I took caution of my ex words and didn't desire what I thought at the time. Maybe an illusionist manipulating a situation to have me for herself. So I had left. I even traveled to the island to keep my vision aligned with the source, with my everything. But Joy never stopped reaching out. Actually, over time, we had built a foundation of a great relationship, built on respect and one another and our boundaries. Despite how much I told her I was in love with who I thought to be my twin flame, divine counterpart, she had reminded and supported me every growth of the step. The other day I walked by a sign that said Raven, which caught my attention, wondering of my ex. I had checked my phone to receive a text from Joy, and we've been constantly talking more often honest of our individual healing journeys, subsistence, and etc. Over a time, I had questioned, did the universe lead me to a different Raven, to a love partner with her? Her efforts are strong, and I still haven't heard a word from or felt any energy from my ex. That means the twin flame. I surrendered to Divine's plan and let that what I thought something more go. Tomorrow I'm going to ask Joy for a lunch. I had put previous hangouts a week because I was unsure and my card readings were temperance and the moon. But my feelings cannot deny that someone I enjoy being with is putting an effort while the other is practically fading wanderers at most. Memory from my past. So I see where it goes, and I would love to know your thoughts. Centrally intrigued read of scenario. So this story, I thought it's a lot to go through, and what I'm gonna do here, I bring my own examples and discuss what I feel from my soul. Everything what I say, it comes from my soul. It's not my mind who is talking, it's my soul that tries to connect and give the feedback and understand what is actually happening. So the first thing I obviously noticed that he said that he had to go and take a new job or work like the lifeguard. It was the same for me. It happened so quickly. I took the job, which I had never done in my life, and which was a lot low-level jobs, like something I should never do it. But it happened so quickly that all of a sudden I was on this job. Like I had an interview, a week later I was in this job, and a month later I met my twin flame. So it was not something I planned or anything. I just had to do it, and I had an opportunity and I took it. And I'm very bad at saying no. So this happened, and I can see he had the same, that he had to go as a lifeguard, and then it was a different environment, different place, something that was not really, I would say, 100% planned, because he went for lifeguarding, not meeting a twin flame. And that's why I always say that you cannot plan meeting someone or having someone or anything like this. The second thing he says here are the ravens. And ravens and birds, I would say ravens are a very, very strong sign. If you see ravens around your home, around somewhere, and you constantly see them, that they get your attention, then there is something about to happen in your life. As a child, I remember I was told that ravens are a sign of death, that if you see them and if they are in a certain environment with you, and I had this belief with me. And when I saw ravens in a parking lot with me, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh, there are ravens, something is going to happen. And the story, those who have listened already my podcast, the ravens were exactly on my parking lot. There were about 10 parking lots or even more next to mine. They were never there. They were always on mine, and constantly, until I met my twin flame. Now I know that ravens are a sign in a way of spiritual death. That means your old ego is going to die and you have to be ready for it. So they come kind of pre-signed to you to say, okay, you have to be ready, that there is going to be a big shift and big change, and that twin flame awakening is definitely a big shift and change. Then he talks about chakras, and we talk overall of chakras. Before I go into the chakras, he talks about the time frame. He talks about 3 months, and that's very, very common in twin flames. The relationship you normally have is very short period of time, like about 6 weeks up to, let's say, 12 weeks. And even myself, I think I had 3 or 4 times where I really met my twin flame in a real life. So that made me even question more. I have met someone really beautifully, and I have such an obsession, like even a person who is not really my kind of a type. Like, what is that? Plus, he doesn't speak the same language. We are not coming from the same background. What is happening? And that's what is I believe in your twin flame connection is the same thing. You are trying to figure out, how come I have an obsession over a person I met so short time, or it can be a longer time as well. I would like to say again, each twin flame situation is different. It's not exactly the same. There are certain patterns, and that's what we're discussing here to bring more clarity, that if it's your twin flame or soulmate or karmic. But I've heard stories from others, people who had only 5 days with their twin flames, and some others who are still in this journey after 8 years. And I will not put that off, because our logical mind tries to say, no, this cannot be true because we don't have a proof. But if your inner self knows, if your soul knows, then you don't need a proof. I promise you. So they had the same very short period of time. The girl left. Next thing is where it talks about the chakras. And I am a true believer, and I believe that my twin flame masculine also opened my chakras, and especially my heart chakra. So that's why I'll do a separate episode of that, but I go deep a little bit in. A lot of people think when you have a spiritual awakening that this is like a walk in a park, everything is nice, everything is beautiful. No. When you have a spiritual awakening, it's so intense that you just cannot believe how intense it is. It's like something is, like your body is falling apart. And that's why I truly believe that many people who have gone through spiritual awakening in their life, when they are having this extreme pain, both in their body and mind, they think they are sick and they need to seek a doctor. I'm not saying you don't need to go and seek a doctor. Sometimes there is something very serious and you have to. But it's also often when you go through spiritual awakening, your body is in pain. And I mean in real pain. My legs were hurting. I had 2 very close heart attacks. But that was when I had my heart chakra opening. And talking of the heart attack, I had like 2 times like this that my blood pressure dropped down to 40. Normally it's 80. I think it was 45. I can feel how I'm going to pass out any second. And then all of a sudden my heart starts rapidly, like super rapidly pounding to get the blood going down my body. And this happened to me twice. And then I had some guidance through the breath work and the things I do for my healing. And I got the answer that my heart chakra was so blocked that I couldn't believe in love and loving myself. Even though I always say I love you and all of these things, I could not let myself to be me. Like in the way of loving energy, that I do something beautiful for myself, that I love who I am, that I don't need to, let's say, for example, drink alcohol to be like free myself. Now I don't even drink alcohol because I love who I am. I love what I do. I love my soul, and I want to be connected to my soul so badly that I don't care about no longer this other things. It's my soul who is talking. It's my soul who is guiding me. And that's what matters to me. And I do a lot of meditation, breath work, all of these things, yoga, to be connected to my soul, to heal, to see, to understand. And how do I also know that my heart chakra was so blocked? Because right before I met my twin flame, I did a soul realignment and Akashic records. And that woman told me that from my previous lives here on earth, I never actually had a family and a loving relationship. Even in one encounter, a man killed me when I was young. So I never really got to love and be the love. And I believe this twin flame connection is all about love. And now I can feel how much the world needs love, care, and healing. Because love is the biggest source of power. It's what heals everything. And even though this twin flame connection is absolutely devastatingly hard, there is a light at the end of this portal where you go through, when you get to see the love that you have never experienced. And it's just so beautiful. And also, you become the mission of your life, whatever you were actually supposed to do this. So I know it's painful and I know you're missing your twin flame, but the more you go within, the more you do it, the more you let go of that pain. And you have to let go of that pain. It can become pretty scary. That's why they say Kundalini yoga or awakening yoga not to do alone, because it can trigger some really past traumas that can scare you and you think that you're going crazy in your head. But these are the ways of letting it go. You have to understand that chakras, if you open them, it's like a fireworks. So you're going to feel a lot of things. And like, for example, if we talk about the chakras, especially in twin flame connection, like I had starting from the legs, then your sexual body, like in your sexual organs, you're going to have certain things over there. You might feel more desire for sex. And but here I can say, do not watch porn, do not do these kind of things. It's your sign to start touching yourself, like your body. The way you feel your body is not only our sexual organs. Your body has all the points. And when you open these points, the magic starts to happen. And that's why those who have sent me their stories of when they had intimacy with their twin flame, and they say they had a out of body experience, I totally believe, because the twin flame opens the chakras, the energy to flow, and that's what you go out of your body. You have to understand your soul and your body and your mind. These are not the same things. That's the way you see yourself. It's just that your soul has taken your body as an avatar. So that's why it's so confusing, because your mind says, no, there's no proof that it is. No, twin flames doesn't exist. It's another. And your soul is like, they do exist. Can you hear me? Can you please hear me? They do exist. Please, 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 please listen to me. And I had this fight for a very long time. So now also from that story, what I really felt, I've said that too many times. The universe will not leave you alone in this situation. It will always send you guides. It will always send you signs. It will always help you. It's not like, okay, I give you a challenge, now you are alone. The universe is not like that. But what is exactly here awakening means? It means that you're able to understand the signs and understand and trust that, it's for that. Okay, I surrender to this because that's how it is. So what is really strange that he also says here, and this is what comes from my soul now, he said he had met joy where he had to leave the home. Again, a drastic change in a life where you're not in your comfort zone. And he met Joy. Also funny that her name is Joy, because I feel for him in his journey, what he needs to discover is exactly the joy and living a life, being the life. And it's the fact that joy is in his life and staying there and guiding him in the process. And this is a sign from the universe, whether she is a soulmate. For example, me, I am married to my soulmate, and I'm actually a guide of my soulmate. I did a channeling when I went through an intense breath work retreat, and I was really, really sad at the time. My heart was so broken because I felt our marriage is falling apart, and I felt that he's a good person, but something has happened. And then I did the channeling, and through this channeling, like his soul was speaking to me, and the soul was speaking exactly the way my husband would speak to me. And the soul was saying to me that, I know that you are somewhere else. I know that you're seeing the world differently. I know that you're feeling something I cannot feel yet. But please help me and guide me on that process. And I need some time, and you need to be patient with me. And then I realized, I am his spiritual guide. I am the one who helps him through the spiritual awakening, and he is my soulmate. And while I have my twin flame, who actually made me to become the one I am today, made me to be me, like my soul. Do I ever forget my twin flame? No. But do I have an obsession? No, I have a very different way of understanding this beautiful, beautiful divine energy and divine light. And that's where it comes. I talked about this in my Twin Flame Union podcast. You have different unions in your twin flame experience. So the union is not, the end goal is not to be with your twin flame and live in a physical relationship. You are united already in 5D. You can heal and feel and what's happening in your body through your twin flame. You are the same energetic beings. You are just split a half. There's divine masculine and there is divine feminine. For me, it was the same, that he came to balance because I was operating in divine masculine energy and now operating a lot more in divine feminine because I needed that balance, and he was my reminder in the physical body. And I am forever thankful for this experience. So if we come back to my guest, so it's the same. I have a feeling it's either the joy is a soulmate and they actually can have an absolutely beautiful relationship together, and she helps him through this, all of that pain and all of that agony, to understand what he needs to let go, what are the things that are still triggering. And here is something I have to tell to people. The trauma or the things you have inside of you are not from this life. It can be from your past lives. So you have to think about that your soul has many lives. Your soul goes on and on and on again. So it's just something you have to go deeply within. And like I always say, meditation, breath work, reading the Eckhart Tolle Power of Now will give you the clarity. Same with, my favorite book and my Bible is Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist. I do think that he was writing this when he went through his spiritual awakening, because during this time he was also put in a hospital. When he wrote about it, he was in a psychiatric hospital. So that's what it means. That's how crazy you can go, because you feel something that is very, very crazy. So he also talks about this unbearable pain and to be alone. I have something here to tell you, and I came across with this today, and it actually blew my mind because we're talking about the signs and everything. And I used to write to my twin flame on my phone, like not to as a message, but on my notes, just to let go of that real pain, what is inside of you. And also it was weird that it was not really me who was talking about it. It was just like it came to this, like I was channeling through him. And I remember I used to write about, I know you're afraid. I know you're feeling confused. I know you didn't run because you don't like me or you don't love me. You ran because it's so intense. And these were the words. I didn't come up with that. And then on that moment, I did not know that it's a real twin flame. I was just so confused. But here is something I wrote. And now listen to the dates. And just this is a mind blowing. And I'm telling, this whole twin flame connection is absolutely mind blowing. On 2nd of August, 2022, I wrote this on my phone. I hate this awakening, or whatever it's supposed to be. I'm so alone. I think I'm a beautiful woman, yet I am all by myself. I hate that I have a man who can't feed the family and who can't take care of me. I hate this whole thing. There should be a lot easier way of going through this, or what it is. There has been no improvements in my life. Everything is still the same. My work, my money, my savings, everything. Like, why is it so hard? And then I referred to my twin flame. He broke me. He broke me into pieces. I hope he's happy. I hope I will never see him again. And it's all finished. The whole SIT about this twin flame is finished. I don't give a damn. My life is still the same, and it's no matter how hard I work, no matter what I do, nothing ever changes. I am so done. So now, that's what I wrote on the 2nd of August 2022, talking of the numbers 222. 222 is a sign. 222 is a sign also in twin flames and in a spiritual world. But now I have something even more. My twin flame stopped talking to me in May, all of a sudden. And I think it was May 14 or something like this. From there, I didn't hear from him. That's why it was 3 months, 4 months, so intense pain. I mean, I still remember that pain. It brings chills to my body. That how come it was so painful. I thought I'm gonna die. I was so alone. It was just like I didn't know what to do. And luckily, there was a very good guy on YouTube which gives you the guidance that you have to go within. But then the 2nd of August, 2022, and guess who wrote to me? And now listen to the date. 21st of August, 2022. Who wrote to me? My twin flame. Hi. And asking me, how are you? And then he said, and on 22nd of August, 2022, he followed up. I was just coming to check on you, and how are you doing? Talking of the sign of twin flame. 222 is a sign, it's a spiritual sign of harmony and new beginnings. There can be you can unite with your twin flame during this time. You can unite with your soul in doing, there is this union. It brings the harmony. And this is what I'm telling you right now. It's not something I made up. I just came across with this after hearing a story from my guest, and I thought, I remember I used to write the stories about my twin flame, and I remember that pain. So I pulled it out from my phone, and then I looked up, when did my twin flame came back? And I was like, whoa, what is that? So 222 was the harmony and balance, and that was the united. From that on, we had a conversation regularly again with my twin flame, but I felt so different. And it wasn't that I didn't feel him. I understood he needs to go through spiritual awakening. He has his way of going now. So I let the universe help him, and if he needs my guidance, I am there. But I let him go through it. I also have another thing to say from the guest post. He was telling me how his twin flame was doing the spiritual inner work and all of these things. I am a true believer that you often meet your twin flame when you have some connection with the spirituality. I don't believe that you are just out of the blue meeting a twin flame and you had no connection with spirituality, that you haven't starting to change or feeling this calling. I met my twin flame, the divine masculine, during the Ramadan. And as we know, Ramadan is when you go closer to your soul. You don't eat and you don't drink during this process, because it's part of I would say the suffering and the pain teaches you who you really are and what matters in life. And so it's something I would say that you have to have this frequency, and you're going to have this soul frequency. And so for my guest, I would also say that the joy, in my opinion, and what I'm feeling is a guide for him to go through this process, because there is things he has to release from your soul, and I feel it is to enjoy and love life more. There is something about that. I might be wrong, but that's something that comes deep inside of my heart, and I just feel like this. The next thing we were talking about were exactly the signs, and here I'm just bringing out the 222, 111. We see this 111. I saw this 1111. I mean, prior to my twin flame, like crazy. And this is also the angels are sending you signs that you're going to meet your twin flame. There's going to be some connection with your twin flame, spiritual awakening. The angels are guiding you. And many people can say, yeah, 1111, you can see it anywhere. It's the weird way you're seeing it. You caught your attention, again? How come again? It's this language that you don't speak. If somebody speaks to you in foreign language, you don't understand what they're saying, but you can feel that, they're trying to say this. And I think it's spiritual science, it's the same. The same with birds and feathers. I am a true believer. They are your protectors. They're trying to tell everything is okay. You're gonna get there. I mean, I saw feathers in the places which I never thought is possible. Like we had a bedroom that had a closed windows and there was a feather in my bed. I constantly, like I said, my husband is going through a spiritual awakening. We have a bird nest in front of our front door. It was never there before we moved in. Never. And since my husband started to go through the spiritual awakening, there is a bird nest right in front of our door. I mean, you want to tell me that is that crazy? It is. And I keep on telling to my husband that, look, your guides are here. They're trying to tell you that it's not easy, but everything is going to be okay. Eventually, everything is going to be okay. Many things will fall apart of your life. They did to me, my job, my place of living, everything. But it's because it guides you to the right place. So flow, go with the flow, be the flow. Okay? So here is also what I would like to say at the end of this podcast, because it's quite a long one again, and I don't know if many of you are still listening. I would like to have your feedback. If you would like me to make a longer podcast, shorter podcast, what are the topics you would like me to discuss? Any kind of thing that you feel that would improve what I'm giving to you at the moment, I'd be happy to. Many of you have asked me if I'm going to do video podcast or showing myself and everything, and why I don't. The problem is, the question here, why I'm doing this in a way of non-video version at the moment, is because I would like you to know my soul. We humans tend to like to judge people or like to have this impression based on when we see someone and we think, oh, okay, yeah. But if you listen to me here today and I'm reading also your stories, I don't know how you look or I don't know how you have, but I can feel your soul. I can feel who you are. And I truly believe that this is the most important part of this journey, because I want to know the souls. I want to know what your soul is talking. I want to know who you are as a soul, not also who you are as an ego or your human being. I might start doing the video content in the near future, but that will be most probably exclusive. But this is all in the future. I don't run into future. I just trust the divine timing and divine ideas. Like I said, I also have the open spot for the consultation and going through the process if anyone wants to book their call. And just before we dive into, I actually saw on Facebook, or it was Instagram stories, that universe says that there are 144,000 awakening twin flame souls who are coming together to bring more love and light into this world. I tried to find this video and repost it or something like this, which I totally agree. I do believe that we twin flames are here to bring love and light to this world. Although I don't know if it's 144,000. I do think it's a lot more based on how many people, how many souls I have connected and helped. And I know that there are some other amazing coaches out there who are doing an amazing job. So I'm just curious about that. But, time will tell, because we are here to bring the love and light. And now my final thing before we are stopping, I actually have a question, whether you would like me to have the Sunday episode, so I can do a Sunday episode. I have 2 ideas, but people have asked me whether I talk about it, what to do when twin flames are married, how does it going to work out, are we going to divorce, do I have to stay in a relationship, will I meet somebody else, am I going to be with my twin flame, am I going to, all of this, because I can talk this from my experience and the people I worked with, and there are very different outcomes, and there's a reason why there are different outcomes. Like, I was married when I met my twin flame was not married, and actually I was willing to leave everything because I was just so obsessed about it and I didn't understand it's a twin flame connection. Until I did, and I realized, there's a lot higher purpose and a lot higher mission and a lot higher things than being just physically together. While I have clients who have come together with their twin flames, even though they've been married, they have divorced, and all of a sudden they are together. So this is one of a topic which I can dive into detail for the Sunday episode. Or we talk about twin flame runner, why this twin flame runner starts to run in the beginning, and what are the ways of getting the twin flame runner in contact, or what you should do and you shouldn't do. For example, I've said many times, if you know you have met your twin flame, I do not recommend telling to your twin flame that, oh, you are my twin flame and we have a spiritual mission and all these kind of things. It will freak them out, and I don't think you will ever hear from them. No, you will. If it's your true twin flame, they always come back to you because there is a mission. There are things you have to let go. There are things you have to balance, your divine feminine, divine masculine. It's the whole actually of science behind it. But also, like, why do they run? Why they disappear? Like, boom, and they're gone. Like, my twin flame literally left like this, that I sent him a nice message saying, oh, this fun thing happened to me today, and it reminded me you and this, and he never even checked the message. He never replied, and that happened in May, and until the 21st of August 2022 or the 222, the harmony, when I had gone through 4 months of huge pain, and I mean it was so hard, he pops back. So you can call me crazy, you can tell me that this doesn't happen. I truly believe it does. And so this was this free version podcast episode today, which I hope you really enjoyed. I know if you have a story, I have received some stories already for the next Wednesday, so definitely going to talk about it. If you would like to share your story, it's twinflameawakeningjourney@gmail.com. Please send me a story, and we just dive into the details like we do today to understand it better and have the reply from my soul, what I feel about it. So I would like to say, if you like this episode and you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and share your thoughts with me. Other than this, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for listening to Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast. You are a beautiful soul.
So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all, but why didn't you call?